Welcome to Hedda, a musical conversation, an original one-woman musical based on the life of Hedda Hopper, the outrageous Hollywood gossip columnist in the hats from Hollywood's golden age. The action takes place during many a morning between 1944 and 1958 in Hedda Hopper's living room. Keep an ear open for the hints dropped in the script which indicate how the time is progressing. Please turn off all cell phones, as they did not exist during Hedda's time. And now, sit back and enjoy Hedda, a musical conversation written by, directed by, and starring Jillann Gabrielle. Well, by now you must all know that I'm Hedda, Queen of Hollywood. Hopper! Oh, that sounds so good. I didn't start as queen. It was a much different scene. I had to head for the stage as soon as I was of age. This hard-working queen stepped up to the screen. My acting gave me a start, then gossip raised up the bar. Acting and I'd never part, and gossip made me a star. Hedda, Queen of Hollywood. How about love the neighborhood? I really love the routine. Excuse me, I've got a preen. Hi-ho, it's good to be a queen. My preservative. I am politically right, and I must fight the good fight. Get commies out of my sight, 'cause they are really a blight. I have ups and downs. Queens wear many crowns. It's time to start up the fun. The party has just begun. Hedda has all the scoops for you. Quote Alice Roosevelt Longworth, if you haven't got anything nice to say about anybody, come sit next to me. So I've prepared you a dish, but there will be no Kaddish. So just sit back and relax and find out who's getting the axe. Oh, yes, I am Hedda. 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 Welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to the house that fear built. Last night my living room was Grand Central Station. It was the who's who of Hollywood. They were all here. Gary Cooper, Cary Grant, Gene Kelly, Claudette Colbert, my dear friend Joan Crawford. Marlene Dietrich was with the USO show in Europe, and Jimmy Stewart couldn't join us because he was bombing Berlin. But we still had Hattie McDaniel, Bogey and McCall, Rita Hayworth, Judy Garland, oh, late as usual, but she did regale us with a song, so all was forgiven. And all the rest of Hollywood's royalty was here as well, except Louis B. Mayer, the head honcho over at MGM, that son of a... But I love my enemies. Isn't that what God wants us to do? We all have idiosyncrasies. We all get ourselves into a stew. So I keep friends close, enemies even closer. Won't get a broken nose. I'm not a poser. It's just business. Nothing more, nothing less. Yes, it's just business. Ooh, I love a mess. I do the friendly enemy rag. It makes me less of a hag and a nag. The friendly enemy rag. Lord knows I'm starting to sag. Oh, the friendly enemy rag. I love my enemies. It keeps his foes way up on our toes. I love to needle away about their woes, their highs and their lows. What I expose may lead to blows, but everyone knows that we're all pros. It's just business. Can't afford to be foes. Yes, it's just business. A business of shows. The friendly enemy rag. It makes me less of a bag and a drag. The friendly enemy rag. God forbid I have to go stag. The friendly enemy rag. Alright, I'm a hag and a nag. And I'm too old-fangled to shag. The friendly enemy rag. I guess I'm a bag and a drag. And I'm too old to be on the rag. The friendly enemy, let's go and have a chablis. The friendly enemy rag. I was hoping to have more of a conversation with you this morning, but it looks like you'll have to share me with my Hollywood cronies. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy morning. Hedda here. Oh, Elizabeth, dear. Well, of course I have time for you. You know I love you as if you're my very own. Well, just give me a second. Elizabeth. Taylor. Might as well be my daughter. Oh, somebody has to guide that dear, sweet, lost child. Yes, my darling, tell Hedda all about it. But you haven't even finalized your divorce from Nicky. And my dear, do you really know who Michael Wilding is? Oh, Elizabeth, how can you be so naive? Well, in the first place, he's too old for you. And rumor around town has it that he and Stuart Granger are very, very close. Do you know what kind of life you'll have if you marry a man like that? You don't know what love is. You don't know what you're talking about. Yes, he's sophisticated, he's gracious, but I beg you not to marry him. Elizabeth? Children. You want to protect them from themselves, but you can't. All you can do is love them. Oh, I need my drink. Oh. This is a little number I created back in the 40s. 1.5 ounces of Jim Beam black bourbon and 1/2 ounce of apricot brandy. Marie Brizard Apres preferred. Garnish it with a lemon twist, and it's called a Malice in Hollywood #1. Oh, come back to Mama, you delicious darling, you. Mm. Mm. Truth be told, I worked my way down from a leading lady on the East Coast to a bit player on the West Coast. During the first year, Louis B. Mayer dragged me out here to La La Land. And I came through for him. Well, maybe not on his casting couch, but I was in over 100 pictures for him. So he certainly got his money's worth. But what did I get out of it? I was labeled Queen of the Quickies. It's not what you think. Yes, they called me the Queen of the Quickies. It's not what you think, all you sickies. I was on, I was off. You'll miss me if you cough. I was usually the freak, but so très chic. Get Hopper, the Queen of the Quickies. I wasn't the star. I made them look good, like any featured player in the pictures should. The children I'd slap, the knuckles I'd rap, just like any female fiend in an orphanage would. I was evil. At Warner's I was cast in The Man Who Played God. The lead was Betty Davis. Oh, no wonder I was awed. In rehearsals, topsy-turvy. Then they tried to make me curvy, which made me think it wasn't just my figure that was flawed. Perhaps they were right. Yes, they called me the Queen of the Quickies. It's not what you think, all you sickies. I was on, I was off. You'll miss me if you cough. I was usually the snoop in the ragtop coop. Get Hopper, the Queen of the Quickies. I played the lead on stage in Dinner at 8, which ran forever in LA and totally first rate. Play the lead in the movie? Well, that would have been groovy. They told me that my acting didn't carry that much weight. Well, that's Hollywood. My part in the film went to Billy Burke. You know, the good witch Glinda with that voice and smirk. If I had played the role, I'd been closer to my goal, but was not to be despite my plea, so back to work. Oh, easy come, easy go. Yes, they called me the Queen of the Quickies. Go home and watch all my pictures, you sickies. I am on, I am off. And please try not to cough. I was usually the fink in the point mink. Get Hopper, the Queen of the Quickies. Yes, the early days of Hollywood were really something. During the 20s in particular, Tinseltown was the center for debauchery for the entire universe. And it was very quaint. Not like it is now in the 50s, more than doubled in size. Chaplin was already a star when I arrived here during the teens, and up to his usual immoral behavior and radical left politics. Ugh, I can't believe that I actually found him charming. Oh, but he let me know in no uncertain terms that I was not his type. I wasn't young enough. That reminds me, I need to settle another score with an old friend. Luella Parsons. Miranda, this is Hedda Hopper. Put me through to Luella. I'll wait. Oh, she can't be that busy. Lolly! Oh, let's cut the bull, shall we? There's two of us now, whether you like it or not, and frankly, the only reason you still have your column in the Hearst papers is to buy your silence on the accidental murder of producer Tom Ince back in 24. Everyone knows that you were on the yacht when Hearst shot him in a fit of jealousy, thinking he was Chaplin, who was behaving in his usually disgusting manner with Hearst's mistress, Marion Davies. Was that your jaw I just heard dropping? So instead of a shootout at the OK Corral, why don't we bury the hatchet? Let's use our rivalry to our mutual benefit. Let's create some headlines for ourselves for a change. That should be right up your alley. All right. Let's meet for lunch on Wednesday at the Derby and have at it. See you then, Lolly. Ciao! Luella and I have been offered a fistful of money to appear on radio and in pictures together. I always accept. She always declines. You know, I was born with the knack for trimming a hat. I remember my first store-bought hat. It was a bright green straw bonnet trimmed with red velvet geraniums. Oh, it was a Hummer. I was 14 and I paid $5 for it out of my own hard-earned money. That hat was a greater attraction on Easter morning than either the choir or the preacher's sermon. At that moment I realized, if a hat can get the attention of this many people, I'll never go hatless again. Oh, brother, that was a cue for a song if I ever heard one. Hit it, boys! Hats! Hats! Glorious, wonderful hats! One for each day of the year and more. A pillbox, a cloche, I simply adore. I'd never conceive of daring to leave the house without a hat. Hats! Fabulous, beautiful hats! When I enter a room wearing a hat, I know at once I'm right up to bat. I leave it on to remain on the stage, or take it off and begin to engage, for all the while the hat will rain, pulling the focus like London Fontaine. Hats! Hats! Perfectly marvelous hats! I purchase 150 a year. Hat trees and closets abound, my dear. Even in the bath, you do the math. With toy horns and Easter eggs and dolly-like hands, Christmas tree ornaments, and of course, fans. I'm in my prime with two at a time in lemon and lime. Never a mime, always a rhyme. Hats. Hats. Glorious, wonderful, marvelous, fabulous, scathingly beautiful hats. I started to wear these outrageous creations to draw the attention upward, away from my hands, which are far less than grand. The only part of me that looks my age, which most people find hard to gauge. Thank the Lord for hats. These divine creations which bring me ovations from various nations and don't fight inflation. Tune into my station for hats. Hats! Elegant, ravishing, glamorous, whimsical, divinely exquisite hats. The Mad Hatter Hopper, oh what a topper. The Eiffel Tower, feel the power. Salad Chapeau, oh no, no, no. Hedda Hopper has a hoard of hooded hats. A hoard of hooded hats has Hedda Hopper. Oh, what a whopper! Hats for Miss Hopper. Hats! You know, my husband never really appreciated my hats. He thought they took up too much room. Well, I haven't mentioned my husband yet, have I? Well, yes, I was married once. To a Quaker. We were both Quakers. But let's start at the beginning. At the ripe old age of 25, I finally left Altoona, Pennsylvania, with a suitcase and a dream, and headed straight for New York, where I found some chorus jobs. One day the director called to me. Elder Corey! I had been working under that name. I stepped out, and this is what he said to me in front of the entire company. Without doubt, you are the most awkward cow it's ever been my misfortune to run across. How did you get into the theater in the first place? Who grabbed you off the farm? What you're doing here I'll never know, but if you've got nerve enough to take it, I'll give it. Now get back there in line and learn those steps. Then I auditioned for the Ziegfeld Follies. Flo Ziegfeld did me a huge favor when he too called me a clumsy cow. Made me realize a chorus girl I wasn't. I was an actress. So one day I heard they were casting the country boy. So I bulldozed my way into the producer's office and talked him into letting me audition for the lead. And I got it. But then after 35 weeks of touring, I found myself looking to get back on the boards again. So then a friend, knowing my Quaker upbringing, quipped, "Hey, DeWolf Hopper's casting the Quaker girl, and you should be a shoo-in." And she was right. Not only did I get the part, but I snagged the leading man as well, who just happened to be the director and the producer. But America came to know him best as the writer and performer of the legendary and immensely popular baseball poem, Casey at the Bat. The rest of the Coreans thought I was an opportunistic gold digger, marrying a 55-year-old man at the tender age of 27. But they were wrong. I did love my Wolfie. Wolfie was a matinee idol. I fell for him immediately. I saw myself in anything bridal, then went for him competitively. Though he was so very much older and womanized notoriously. Oh, he had those eyes that just smolder, and was monopolized commensurately by me. Wolfie's last name was Hopper, and he had 4 wives before me. When we married, I became Elder Hopper. So very proper. But what a stopper. 'Cause his wives were Ella, Ida, Edna, and Nella. So Elder had to go. Yes, Ella, Ida, Edna, and Nella confused him more than you know. Whenever he would call me, he'd call one of them instead. So I had to change my first name, so he knew who I was in bed. So, one day I consulted a seer, a numerologist for accuracy's sake. I paid him $10 to get crystal clear on the perfect first name I should take. He told me, Hedda, I think you better go with Hedda instead of what you got. You're better with Hedda, 'cause with Hedda you'll get a lot of fame. Change your name. So Hedda I became. There was no more Ella, Ida, Edna, or Nella, 'cause Hedda saved the day. Yes, Ella, Ida, Edna, and Nella officially went away. So I became Hedda Hopper, and Wolfie was A-okay. It was better. He called me Hedda instead of Ella, Ida, Edna, or Nella. It was Hedda. He finally knew my name. It was Hedda. Wolfie and I were divorced after 9 long years of marriage. You could say I just got tired of finding other ladies' hairpins in the back seat of our Packard. Wolfie may not have always remembered my name, but I know there was one time that he did, and we have our son to prove it, William Hopper. Oh, all you mothers out there, please indulge me as I boast a bit about my son Bill, because you all know him as Paul Drake, the detective on the Perry Mason series on television. Oh my God, I'm so proud of Bill. And he did it all on his own. Well, I wanted to help him, but he wouldn't let me. Bill so disapproves of my work as a journalist. I did have a wonderful man in my life, once, after Wolfie. But he was married and Catholic, and as the moral compass of Hollywood, I had to give him up. Excuse me. Hedda here. Well, thank you, Buzz. It's my editor. I thought I was pretty good in it, too. Sunset Boulevard is a terrific picture. Written and directed by Billy Wilder. Need I say more? Well, thank you for the buttering up. Now, what's the real reason you called? Oh, I know, Buzz. We have to keep the studios happy because they advertise in our papers. I know the routine. I'm not going to say anything negative about our precious little advertisers. But between you and me, Buzz, what they really need is a good director, good actors, and a good script. No, that's not going in the column, even though it should. I'm not old-fashioned. So what are you going to do? Crucify me because I liked it when movies were movies? Have I ever missed a deadline? I'll call it in when it's finished. You let me know what you think. I wonder. Maybe he's right when he called me old-fashioned. But I liked it when movies were made with such passion. When movies were movies, the world was much different then. 30s were Hollywood's best. When movies were movies, the stars made you say amen. Studios would make you their guests. With directors like Hitchcock and Capra and Wells. Some love to shock us or cast endless spells. There's Garble and Gable and Harlow in Sable and Davis and Crawford, you bet. And Cagney and Bogart and Tracy and Hepburn's art. One of our favorite duets. We used to call them pictures. The elite now deign them films. When movies were movies, they taught while we gazed at the stars on the big silver screen. The writers knew how to write history and mystery and love. In Technicolor and black and white, genius and heart from above. It happened one night at Berlin's Grand Hotel. The screen would ignite and the music would swell. Yes, Judy and Mickey, before she played Vicky, and Ginger and Fred, that was dance. And Vincent Minnelli and Wilder and Kelly continued to spark the romance. We went from silent pictures to the huge Cinerama screen. Oh, when I was in movies, my life was serene. No gossip column, no Hollywood queen, but imagination, inspiration. We were the rage, turned back the page and set the stage. Lights, cameras, action. Hollywood's golden age. Marie Dressler said it best. You're only as good as your last picture. Hedda here. Well, Buzz, why don't you just bring over a cot and move in? It's a joke, Buzz. Well, I've got it right here in my hot little hand. The offending quote. Oh, you're going to have to hold on a minute while I get my glasses. I'm no longer capable of playing trombone. Yes, here it is, Buzz. Dory Sherry, a liberal Democrat, has been hired as head of production over at MGM, which will now be known as Metro-Goldwyn Moscow. So what's the problem? Libel! He'll sue us for the truth and call it libel. He won't sue if you omit it from the later editions? Ugh. You're the editor. Do your damn job. Son of a... I was simply telling the truth. In the past, when I have spoken the truth, I always paid the price. But then you've got to roll the dice. And I've done that once or twice. But I was simply telling the truth. Though my method was construed as slightly uncouth, I tracked them down like a sleuth to fill my column. Forsooth, I was only telling the truth. It's a habit I started back in my youth. Some say I'm long in the tooth, but they just can't handle the truth. Valentine's Day, I received a trunk. Joan Bennett had sent me a skunk. It's not my fault her movie stunk. I named it Joan and got drunk. Spencer Tracy kicked me in the ass over something I wrote that he thought was crass. I never thought he had much class, just a man who always passed gas. I was simply telling the truth, though my method was construed as slightly uncouth. I tracked them down like a sleuth to fill my column. Forsooth, I was sadly telling the truth. It's a habit I started back in my youth. I'm not Old Testament Ruth. I was simply telling the truth. And then this gallant Joseph Cotton, as a married man he was rotten. Deanna Durbin he should have forgotten, gone back to the real Mrs. Cotton. Then later, at a social event, he pulled my chair out, a real nice gent. But I continued my descent. You guessed, I hit the cement. I was simply telling the truth, though my method was construed as slightly uncouth. I tracked them down like a sleuth to fill my column. Forsooth, I was only telling the truth. It's a habit I started back in my youth. A martini, light on the move. You see, they simply couldn't swallow the truth. I was simply telling the truth. Excuse me. Hedda here. Not yet. The front page? You mean I've managed to outscoop Sputnik? I didn't think that was possible. They told me they were holding the story till tomorrow. Thanks, I'll check. Excuse me. Liz steals Eddie from Debbie by Hedda Hopper. This is not an easy thing I had to do. I never thought I'd say this, but this is the one time I wished Luella had outscooped me. Oh God, what have I done? I've known Miss Taylor since she was 9. Those huge violet eyes were always so divine. A shy, lovely creature, I became her teacher, knowing full well one day she would shine. I sent her over to Universal, and it ended up to be a rehearsal for roaring MGM's Technicolor artsy gems, which pulled her career out of reversal. Elizabeth, the beauty with bewitching eyes. In National Velvet, she rode the pie. A young Mickey Rooney portrayed her friend, Mai, whom I had to corral some to protect our young gal from, while the rest of the world fell in love with those eyes. Her first betrothal to a Hilton Nicky lasted but a mere 9 months, hence a quickie. Then a cavalcade of suitors might as well have been looters. At that point our Liz was plainly not picky. Elizabeth, the beauty with bewitching eyes. She married 2 Michaels, one Wilding, one Todd. Mike Wilding was troubling, but Todd was her god. When Mike Todd was killed, Liz rallied and willed herself to play Maggie with no time to sob. Eddie Fisher, the singer, was Mike Todd's cohort. He swept in and groomed words of love and support. Debbie Reynolds, his spouse, saw Eddie turn lows as he and Liz did cavort at Debbie's favorite resort. As Eddie's head lay on her breast, our friendships now put to the test. Why do I always destroy the ones I love? The ones who love me. I was just thinking of you. Are you going to let me talk? Are you quite finished? Well, in the first place, you never said it was off the record. What you did say was that you were sleeping with a married man. You made your own damn bed and you chose who to put in it. I tried to warn you. Oh, damn it, Elizabeth. Do you realize the position that you put me in? I write a gossip column. I'm a journalist. I have a duty to tell the truth. You left me no choice. Oh, don't you dare try to put this on me. If you were my own damn daughter, I would have done it. Elizabeth? Elizabeth! Goodbye, Liz. When did this happen? Am I really getting old? She can't be right. So many stories to be told. How did this happen? Am I really getting weak? Was Liz correct when she called me an antique? Why did this happen? I've not lost my touch. My only problem is I care for her too much. Oh, I cannot let this happen. I have a right to speak. I've always told the truth, whether taking on Garfield or Chaplin, or even Babe Ruth. So call me old and staid. A spade is still a spade, and I will not be swayed. Life is better with Hedda, and I'm here to stay. All I wanted was to be an actress, but Hedda made herself a star. Hopper! Yes, I've come so far. The stars that I've had to schmooze to get a smidgen of news. And now they call me a witch. I know they really mean bitch. So let them call foul. Won't throw in the towel. My hat will stay in the ring. Of proper morals I'll sing. I've got a column to run in. Politics is second to none. Hedda, Queen of Hollywood. Hopper, I've done what I should. To hell with those idle threats. I've come too far no regrets. So thanks for coming today. I hope you've enjoyed your stay. So let them all call me Bats. I'll never take off my hats. Hey Parsons, I'm number one. 'Cause there's a little bit of Hedda in everyone. Oh, yes, I'm Hedda